Welcome back to Top 10 Countdown. Today we'll explore the disturbing realm of human experimentation, uncover the top 10 most infamous and morally reprehensible experiments ever conducted. These haunting trials serve as a reminder of ethical research practices. Viewer discretion advised as we dive into these dark chapters. Let's begin our countdown of the top 10 evil human experiments. At number 10, we have the Willowbrook State School hepatitis experiments. These were controversial medical studies conducted at a New York institution for individuals with disabilities during the 1950s and 1960s. Children at the school were intentionally infected with hepatitis to study the virus. These experiments sparked ethical concerns and contributed to the establishment of guidelines for research ethics. Coming in at number 9, we have aversion therapy for homosexuality. This unethical practice was employed in the mid-20th century in an attempt to cure homosexuality. Individuals were subjected to distressing and harmful techniques, including electric shocks, nausea-inducing drugs, and other aversive stimuli. It violated basic principles of human rights and disregarded the dignity and well-being of LGBTQ+ individuals. At number 8, we encounter the haunting monster study. Conducted in 1939, it was an unethical experiment at the University of Iowa that aimed to study the effects of negative speech therapy on children. Half of the orphaned children were subjected to constant criticism and negative feedback about their speech, causing them to develop speech problems and psychological issues. The study violated ethical standards and contributed to the establishment of guidelines for research ethics. Taking the number 7 spot is the Experiments on Twins by Josef Mengele. During World War II, Nazi physician Josef Mengele conducted cruel experiments on twins at Auschwitz concentration camp. His goal was to further Nazi ideology and explore heredity and genetics. The experiments involved painful medical procedures, injections, surgeries without anesthesia, and autopsies. Many twins suffered and died as a result. Mengele's actions exemplify the horrific nature of Nazi human experimentation, emphasizing the importance of upholding human rights and ethical principles in research. Sliding in at number 6, we have North Korean human experimentation. Disturbing reports suggest that North Korea has engaged in extensive human experimentation, particularly on political prisoners. These experiments allegedly include chemical and biological weapon tests and other heinous acts. The lack of transparency and accountability surrounding these experiments highlights the grave violation of human rights and ethical boundaries. Taking the number 5 position, we find the Stanford prison experiment. In 1971, this experiment aimed to study the effects of perceived power in a simulated prison environment. However, the study quickly turned abusive as guards displayed authoritarian behavior and prisoners experienced distress. Ethical concerns led to the experiment's early termination. While it highlighted the influence of roles and authority, the study faced criticism for ethical violations. It continues to provoke discussions on the ethics of psychological research and the impact of unchecked authority on human behavior. Claiming the number 4 spot is the infamous MKUltra project. This CIA project was conducted in the 1950s and 1960s to explore mind control techniques. It involved the use of drugs, hypnosis, and psychological manipulation to extract information from individuals. The experiments caused severe harm to many participants, leading to public outcry and the program's termination in 1973. The MKUltra experiment raises ethical concerns about government research and the balance between national security and individual rights. At number 3, we have the Tuskegee syphilis experiment. Lasting for 40 years from 1932 to 1972, this experiment involved withholding treatment from African American men infected with syphilis, even after penicillin became available. The study was conducted without the informed consent of the participants. This gross violation of medical ethics resulted in the deaths and suffering of countless individuals, perpetuating racial disparities in healthcare. Stepping into the number 2 position, we encounter the horrifying Unit 731 experiment. During World War II, the Imperial Japanese Army's Unit 731 conducted brutal experiments on thousands of Chinese, Korean, and other prisoners of war. These experiments included vivisections, biological weapon tests, and exposure to extreme conditions. The atrocities committed by Unit 731 represent one of the most horrifying chapters in human history. And finally, taking the top spot at number 1, we have the Nazi medical experiments. These were a series of experiments on humans conducted by Nazi Germany during World War II. The experiments were conducted by doctors and scientists in concentration camps, and they were designed to test the limits of human endurance and to develop new weapons and medical treatments. The experiments were conducted on a wide range of people, including prisoners of war, political prisoners, and Jews. The prisoners were subjected to a variety of horrific experiments, including infection with diseases such as typhus and malaria, exposure to chemical weapons, deliberately freezing prisoners to death, vivisection, and testing the effects of different treatments for injuries and illnesses. The experiments were conducted without the consent of the prisoners, and many of them died as a result. The experiments were a clear violation of human rights and medical ethics, and they have had a lasting impact on the world. And there you have it, the top 10 most evil human experiments that shocked the world. These experiments are a grim reminder of the importance of ethics, human rights, and the protection of the vulnerable in scientific research. As we reflect on these dark chapters of history, let us strive to ensure that such atrocities are never repeated. Thank you for joining us on this unsettling journey. If you found this content thought-provoking, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more. And remember, stay curious, but always remember the ethical boundaries. Goodbye.